Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 26 updates and spoilers. Hi, Yvonne! But first, right, it's an eviction night. Our house guest of the day is Latasha Allen. Latasha, thank you so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate you so, so much. So thank you again. If you guys want to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon in the description below. We also have a link down there for Paramount Plus if you're interested in trying and checking at the same time. If you're interested in checking out the live feeds and you use our link, that really helps us out as well. So we appreciate that. All right. Like I said, it's eviction night. It's another nail biter. There's another potential flip in the works. I just got the chills, but I think that's because it's cold in here. So when we left off yesterday, Brooklyn, Chelsea, and Cam are up on the block. 2 of the 3 nominees have been out on the campaign trail. Cam is kind of just doing nothing. Again, I don't know if it's because he just thinks he's safe or if he just like doesn't realize he should be campaigning. I don't think he's super familiar with the show, but like, what is this, week 5 now? You've seen people campaigning, so I'm like, is he really just that comfortable? I don't know. But anyway, we know that Tucker's number 1 target is Brooklyn this week, and she will likely go if she does not win the AI competition. If she does win, Chelsea is Tucker's secondary target. But if Chelsea is on the block, T-Core has made it very clear to Chemo that she will not be voting Chelsea out. She's been complaining a lot to Chemo and Rubina about how badly she wants to keep Chelsea. She's not voting Chelsea out if she's up against Cam, but she has not really made her opinion known to Tucker so much. So we are going to be talking about that quite a bit today. But they agree that Chelsea is better for their game than Cam would be. Cam would just be another number for Tucker. And they don't want that, right? Tucker's already so powerful on his own, and he's got his trail of people following him around. I don't know, his squad. So T-Core is really wanting to see if they can get the votes to save Chelsea. Again, it's only if it's Chelsea versus Cam. If she's up against Brooklyn, Chelsea would definitely be staying. So Chemo, Rubina, and T-Core have also been really paranoid that Tucker has other deals, other alliances going on. Chemo's upset because Tucker has not been initiating as many conversations with him this week. Oh my God. The drama. Everybody wants Tucker's attention. They've also noticed that Leah and Mackenzie have been palling around with Tucker quite a bit. I mean, that's also just because, like, they've been going up to the HOH room to hang out with him. It's not like he's seeking them out. They suspect that Tucker has a final 2 with Joseph. He does. That one is true. And Rubina asked Tucker straight up, do you have a final 2 with Joseph? And Tucker lied to her and said no. But she wants to ask him again during one of their cuddle sessions because he'll be more vulnerable and maybe she can tell if he's telling the truth or not. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so Tucker and Angela were having a chat yesterday in the HOH room. And keep in mind, these 2 have a final 2. They hadn't named it at that point, but they do have a final 2 deal. And Tucker says, I think we need to bring in another person to get us to the final 3. I'm sorry, but when I hear that, it sounds like he's like, we need to bring in a third for our marriage so our marriage can survive. But he's like, maybe like Joseph, we can start working with Joseph. How convenient, because now Tucker would be in a final 3 with Joseph and Angela, and he's got final 2 deals with both of them. So yeah, he's really liking the sound of that. Angela's like, I'd be cool with that. Whatever you want to do. Like, I'm along for the ride. I'm just happy to be working with you. So Tucker suggests maybe we also get something going with Leah and Mackenzie, right? Add them as numbers for us. And Angela's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. She says she just loves working with Tucker because it's just so freaking unexpected. She says, this would be blowing my mind if I was watching this at home. So she says we should call ourselves the Unexpected. And Tucker agrees. Honestly, I love this final 2. I love it. It really is an unexpected alliance. And I just feel like they are So exciting this season and keeping things going. They also exchanged I love yous. I feel like Angela looks at Tucker like he's like a son or something. But anyway, Tucker says he would really like to see Cam stay this week in all scenarios. He feels like Cam is a good sport. He's not really a threat. He doesn't feel threatened by him competition wise or anything. And he would like to see Brooklyn or Chelsea go this week. He really wants those two to be split up. And then whoever is left out of the two of them, he would like to see leave the following week. So Tucker says, Tucker really seems to think that there's going to be a double eviction coming up in the next week or so. And he's like, if I can make it past this week, then we can really ride this out. Because he's pretty sure if there is a double, everyone's going to be targeting him, which is accurate. I mean, you gotta, right? So Tucker says, no, I already said that. Angela says she would not want to go to the end with anyone else besides him. She tells Tucker, you're in my life forever. And she was even joking around about, maybe not joking, but joking around about setting him up with one of her daughters. But she's like, you know what? I think Rubina really likes you. And Tucker is definitely downplaying here, right? We've seen him say so many times this week that Rubina is like a sister to him, which is always what people say when they're trying to hide a connection, a relationship, right? Come on. Unless it's like Mackenzie and her brother. No. So Tucker says, Rubina's great, but I'm here to win, right? That's what I'm here for, winning. So, we can see what happens after this. It's going on right now. It's happening. But anyway, next, Angela checks in with Joseph, and Angela says, I had a really good talk with Tucker. I said some really good things about you, and I think we might be able to do something like alliance-wise with me, you, and Tucker. And Joseph's like, cool, because I like Tucker a lot. I trust him a lot. And he says, Tucker and I have a lot in common, but we were on opposite sides of the house. And Angela says, not anymore. So they agree that Rubina, Chemo, and T-Core are emerging as a pretty obvious trio at this point. Yes. I feel like those three are always together. It's wild. But Joseph says we're not the only ones who see that. A lot of people are starting to pick up on that. They talk about their opinions on some of the other house guests. They agree they both like Leah. And this is how they describe Leah. They describe her as the kindest, most genuine person, a ray of sunshine, not a mean bone in her body. Are we talking about the same Leah here? Because what? Oh my God. She's talked so much crap about everybody. She's been so negative about people. Like, what? I know Joseph is like blinded by love at this point. He seems to be really into Leah. But Angela, what? I think she's just happy to have allies at this point. Yeah, but they both feel like they can trust Leah. At one point, Joseph's even like, oh, Leah is one of my favorite people in this house. And Angela's like, whoa, wow, really? He's really into her. But Angela says she would love to go to the end with Joseph, Tucker, and Leah. And she's like, why not us? It could be us, So we'll see how that goes. But Joseph brings up, he's a little bit nervous about this vote. I mean, look how things flipped last week. He says, you think things are going to go one way and then crazy stuff happens. He specifically is worried about where Chemo and T-Core stand on this vote because he says those two, they always want things to go their way, right? Like the best option for their personal games, and they're not always willing to bend on that. So, which I mean is a pretty good description. So he's like, I got to check in with them. I got to see what they're thinking for this vote. But Joseph and Angela reaffirm to each other they want to work together and they want to get this new group going. They want to establish it. All right. In other news, the house guests were being goofy yesterday. There was a lot of, I'm scaring this person. I'm going to hide and scare this person. Tons of scaring happening. Okay, wonderful. Moving on. Back to the game. Chemo and Rubina were chatting in the HOH room, and they agree. If it's Cam versus Chelsea on the block, they want to keep Chelsea. We know, but they're not sure if the votes are there. right? They're still trying to figure that out. They're worried if Cam stays that Cam and Tucker may have rekindled things. They seem to be getting along, they're hanging out, and they're like, oh my God, what if Cam, Tucker, Joseph, and Mackenzie are all working together? That's like their worst nightmare, right? They don't want to see that. But they agree they would both be very annoyed and very upset with Tucker if he's all of a sudden part of these other alliances without them, right? Because he was so upset last week about all these other alliances happening without his knowledge. So now, if he's got all these other things going on outside of Sixth Avenue, they're not going to be happy with him. Well, about that. T-Core joins them, and Chemo talks about how frustrated he is that Tucker never brings up the four of them meeting up or Sixth Avenue meeting up, right? They only had that one night where they all got together and solidified things, but they haven't really had a solid meeting since then. So a little later, Rubina and T-Core chat in the storage room, and they agree, all right, if Brooklyn's on the block, she's gone, right? If she doesn't win the AI competition, you just got to let her go. She's donezo. But again, they agree they want to keep Chelsea if she's up on the block against Cam. So Rubina's like, how are we going to convince Tucker to be okay with this, right? How do we convince Tucker that Chelsea should be the one to stay when he's dead set on keeping Cam? He does not vote this week, of course. Well, I guess he would vote in the event of a tie, right? Wait, is there even a tie possible? How many people do we have left? Where am I? Is there a tie this week? There's 11 people left? Or no, there's 12 people left. I can't even remember anymore. Whatever. He's not one of the regular voters this week. So they can pull this off without him, but it's not going to be good if they just like go against his wishes and keep Chelsea over Cam. So T-Core is like, well, he chose who went up on the block this week, and now we choose who to vote for. I mean, technically that's correct, but also I don't see that going over well. I mean, you can very well go ahead and do that, but like Tucker's not going to be happy about that. You're going to upset your alliance member, right? So T-Core also says Tucker has been telling us to do whatever we want with our votes, which I'm pretty sure he has been saying that. Rubina did not seem to remember that. He has, but I think that means vote however you want as long as it's what I want to happen. Right? He wants things to go his way. So Rubina brings up how Tucker has said they need to take out the biggest competitors. And she says that's Cam. Cam is a bigger competitor than Chelsea. So they're trying to like justify what they want to happen here. And Rubina says, I think his hang up with Chelsea, Tucker is just nervous that Chelsea would backdoor him if she were to stay and win HOH. And T-Core's like, well, even if Chelsea does put him up, we would have the numbers to keep Tucker safe. And she's not going to put the rest of us in our alliance up next to Tucker. T-Core is just very confident that Chelsea is going to keep the rest of them safe. And she's like, we would be able to talk things through with Chelsea. We have a better relationship with her than we do with Cam. Nobody knows what Cam would do if he were to win HOH. So, I mean, she's making some good points here for sure. But at this point, Quinn has told the trio of T-Core, Chemo, and Rubina that he will vote however they want this week. And I feel like he would stay true to that because he wants to get back in with them, right? So he's in ass kissing mode right now. Joseph has also said that he would be down to vote how they want. Now, I don't see Joseph going against Tucker's wishes, but I think he's just saying this to look good right now to that trio. But unless he knew that the votes were 100% going that way, I don't see him like being a part of a flip like that. Yeah. So then we have Brooklyn and Chelsea chatting in the storage room. Block party. And Brooklyn knows she's in trouble. She knows that she's going to be going home if she doesn't win this AI competition. She's like, they're going to vote me out if I'm up against you or Cam. So I got to win. And Chelsea is telling Brooklyn, Yes, you need to go out there and win that competition. Brooklyn says if it's Cam versus Chelsea on the block, hopefully all of the females will vote for Cam to go. Please stop referring to women as females. Don't use females as a noun. Oh my God. This is 2024. Just stop. But anyway, Chelsea is not totally sure that she would have the votes to stay against Cam, but she feels like she would have a better chance of staying, and then her and Brooklyn could both stay as opposed to Brooklyn being up on the block. So yeah, she's telling Brooklyn, you need to win this thing. And Brooklyn's like, well, if you're up on the block, you would have me, T-Core, Chemo, Rubina, and possibly MJ, Mackenzie. So that's 5, right? So that would be enough to stay. Brooklyn also shared her plans of what she would do if she were to stay and win HOH. We've already pretty much heard this before, but she said if the AI twist is over and you only have to put up 2 nominees, she would put up Joseph and Quinn, and then she would try to backdoor Tucker. Can you imagine if the twist still isn't over? I feel like it would be the longest that a twist would actually like go into the season. I mean, they could do it another week. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But in other news, most of the house guests were lounging around by the fish tank last night, just having a good time, relaxing. And Rubina and Tucker were holding hands under one of the blankets. And quite a few people noticed this was happening. And Leah was pissed about it. She was reporting it to Brooklyn, reporting it to Joseph. Girl, of course, too. Leah was like, I don't really care, but like, I'm just saying. They're like not even trying to hide it now. Like, I don't even care, but whatever. Something tells me you do care, but also they've been banging in the HOH room. So like, I wouldn't be so worried about a little hand holding. Like, there's a lot more going on than that. But anyway, the have-nots got to eat at midnight last night. So Angela, Chemo, Joseph, they're all chowing down. And Angela was so happy to be eating not slop again that she was like dancing around the kitchen with Quinn. She's rolling butt. I'm sorry, but like rolling butt is one of the funniest things I've heard on this season. Oh my God. I can't. She also finally got to have some birthday cake, so that was nice. No charcuterie board though. What are you gonna do? You can't have everything. But the rest of the night, 6th Avenue was planning on having a meeting last night to talk about all the different voting scenarios, but they didn't end up having it because they couldn't all get alone at the same time in the HOH room. However, Rubina did talk with Tucker about the vote, and Tucker said if it's Cam versus Chelsea, he wants Chelsea to go. And he said, if Cam goes, I'm going to be like the only athletic dude left. So everyone's going to be looking at me. At least I have a little bit of a shield with Cam. And Rubina's like, well, if Cam were to go, that would be way less competition for you. And Tucker's like, no, Chelsea has to leave. She's the brains of the operations over on that side. And we cannot keep Chelsea and Brooklyn together. They need to be split up. So I definitely see both sides here of why they each want either Chelsea or Cam to go. Rubina says, well, me, Chemo, Joseph, and T-Core, we don't know where Cam's head is at. We don't know what he would do if he won HOH. They're all afraid that he might put one or more of them up on the block. And Tucker's like, well, who do you think Chelsea's going to put up? She's going to put up me. So Tucker continues to shut down all of Rubina's arguments for keeping Chelsea. He's made up his mind. He wants Cam to stay. So yeah, then they did it later. All right. So then before bed, Chemo and T-Core were chatting again. And Chemo is warning T-Core, we really can't push too hard to keep Chelsea this week. We got to be careful because if this all gets back to Tucker, how hard we've been pushing, he might get pissed at us and he might start working with other people. So yeah, it seems like Chemo is ready to maybe abandon this plan because he feels like it's not going to happen. Bless you. But T-Core is still very much dedicated to keeping Chelsea. So this morning, Tucker, Rubina, Chemo, and T-Core did end up meeting in the HOH room. Angela was also in there briefly. But she got called to the diary room, so she wasn't in there for very long. But Tucker is continuing to push that he wants Brooklyn or Chelsea out this week. Brooklyn, target number 1, Chelsea, target number 2. But Chemo's asking, do we know who Cam would put up if he were to win HOH? And Tucker says Cam is targeting Quinn. Is he? I honestly don't know. I don't know what Cam would do. I'm assuming he would target Tucker, but like, who freaking knows? Rubina is worried that Cam would put her up. I don't know why she thinks she specifically would go up, but that's what she seems to think. Tucker says no. Cam would go after competitors. Oof. A little bit of an unintentional burn there. But Tucker is reiterating that Chelsea and Brooklyn need to be split up no matter what. You know what? I didn't hear T-Core speaking up during that meeting. She did not have anything to say. But of course, after Tucker left the room, I think he was going to the diary room or something, T-Core was complaining to Rubina, like, are we really just going to roll over and do what's best for Tucker's game instead of what's best for ourselves? Oh my God. Why didn't you say anything in front of Tucker? So then Tucker rejoins the group and he's asking T-Core, point blank, are you okay with voting Chelsea out this week? And at first she basically says, yeah, which makes me think she meant like she's okay with Chelsea going, but she does finally say she's not personally going to vote Chelsea out. She says, Chelsea and I made a pact that as the only 2 Black women this season, that we would not vote each other out before jury. So she says she's going to stick with that. She feels like the votes are there to keep Cam if that's what Tucker does want, you know, without her vote. And Tucker's like, yeah, I'm fine with that, whatever. So then these 4 are like, let's solidify our alliance. I think it was actually Chemo who was like, please, for my peace of mind, can we just like solidify this 4? And they're trying to like brainstorm names. And Tucker suggests the name Visionaries. So this name is already taken by another alliance that Chemo and T-Core are in. That's the alliance that they have with Quinn. So I don't think he knows the name of that. I think he just like randomly came up with that name. But do you think T-Core and Chemo like peed a little bit when he said that? Because that was wild. But instead they land on the name, I don't know if it's pronounced Friends or Frenzies, but it's like Friends with 4 Z's. It's something. So then, yeah, after that, T-Core, Chemo, and Rubina are chatting with Mackenzie. And even though T-Core said she's cool with Chelsea leaving, she didn't mean it. I think at one point, Rubina was like, you need to speak up in front of Tucker. Like, if you don't agree with what he's saying, you need to speak up in front of him because he will listen to your thoughts. Like, you don't really speak up that much. So when you do, it's really going to have a lot more impact. But anyway, yeah, the trio is talking to Mackenzie about the vote, and Mackenzie wants to vote out Cam, possibly even if he's next to Brooklyn, because she's like, all right, Cam has not even been campaigning. He doesn't talk game with me. And he's a free agent right now. He can be scooped up by anybody. He can slip back into this game very easily. Whereas Chelsea and Brooklyn are going to continue being targets, right? They're going to be a shield in front of us. People are going to be going after them. So Mackenzie seems to be on board, which means if Quinn does vote with the trio, that would be 5 votes. That's enough to keep Chelsea over Cam. So Chemo and T-Core were saying they were going to like bring this information to Tucker and be like, yo, we've got 5 votes. So I haven't seen that conversation yet, though. The feeds went down for the like camera blocking rehearsal and everybody is on the HOH lockdown. And then when the feeds came back, I'm still not sure what's happening with this vote. People were like getting haircuts and stuff. There was a little bit of game chat, but it just still feels like this thing is very much still up in the air. I think it's pretty safe to say that Brooklyn will be going if she doesn't win the AI competition, whether she's up against Chelsea or Cam. But if it's Cam versus Chelsea, that's when the craziness would happen. It feels like at this point it's leaning towards Chelsea staying, but we'll see. or we won't, right? We might not even see that scenario of Chelsea versus Cam play out, which is what makes this whole AI twist pretty interesting. I have to say, I have to admit it. But those 2 minutes before the vote could be very important if it's Chelsea versus Cam up on the block. That's, I think, where that decision will ultimately be made. But yeah, we got to see what happens in this AI competition, right? And then we get a new HOH later tonight. Woo! And hopefully we'll find out who this AI instigator is going to be, who America voted for. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to go tonight. And I want to thank our super chatters. Oh, okay. Gail Murphy Comedy, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Carla S, thank you so much for the super chat. Carla says, thank you for your updates and spoilers. You're welcome. How's the hubby? He's great. He's doing really well. He started his new school year, so that's been keeping him busy. And I showed him the clip last night of Angela being sad about her meats and cheeses being eaten, and we had a really good laugh about it. So he's doing well. Thank you for asking. Sean Davis, thank you for the super chat. Sean says, what is happening today? I know, right? Started working and turned on the feeds and saw Rubina and Tucker getting it on one side. Yeah. As T-Core and Chemo were whispering in the bathroom, this AI arena should be interesting. Yeah, it's pretty interesting too, like the juxtaposition that you can see on the feed sometimes from one side to the other. But yeah, I guess not T-Core. Rubina and Tucker have been getting pretty hot and heavy in the HOH room this week. Lady and Leah is just getting upset about seeing them holding hands. But anyway, yeah, the AI comp is going to be interesting. Lady Stark, thank you so much. And they said, absolutely love your recaps, longtime fan. Thanks so much for watching. Broomstick, thank you so much. Oh, it's Fexy as JJ. Welcome back. He says, per usual, following your updates. Thanks, Maddie and Mama Janet. Hey, girl, hey. So thankful that you've been sticking with us. We really, really appreciate that. And it's good to see you. Jody Cortez, thank you so much. Jody says, BB After Dark. Wow, get a room, lol. I know, right? It was a lot. Usually they block that kind of stuff pretty quickly on the live feeds, but they kind of like let it go for a bit before they turn that off. Benjamin, thank you so much. Benjamin says, Brooklyn for AI because I need Cam gone. He's furniture and not doing anything. Honestly, I have to agree. I mean, team fun feeds, right? It would be so much more interesting to see both Brooklyn and Chelsea stay this week because it's just going to ramp up the drama. And Cam seems like a really nice guy, but what even is he adding to the show right now? Not a ton. So I would have to agree with your assessment there. But thank you all so much for watching. We will be back tonight to talk about the episode. So we hope to see you then. And until then, much love. Bye, everybody.